that I know what I'm doing, and that's maybe, maybe not. So, okay. All right, let me just see. What do we got else here? Christmas crack, white chocolate Pringles and chips. Okay, I'm down. I like the variety of this group. I'm really loving it. Okay, so well, I want to say welcome everybody to the kind of Enhancing Collaboration CU Foundation Exchange. I'm glad you guys could be here and make time for us to kind of have a little bit of sharing and getting to know each other, and then maybe kind of walking through some great things we might want to do for next year. Hold on, guys. I'm trying to get my windows to work and everything to kind of make its way as it should be. I kind of sent that message out yesterday. I really want this to be a very like informal sharing. I don't want us to be stuffy or anything. Kind of just having a good time and getting to know each other first. So just real quick, I did set up a kind of a agenda so we can keep on track. We've got 1 hour, but I feel like with all the information we have sharing with each other, we might lose track of time, which is great, but I also want to make sure that we get the most we can out of having each other together. So real quick, for those of you that don't know me, I'm Bobby Grady. I'm the Southeastern Credit Union Foundation Director, and I am excited to bring us all together today. We are going to go ahead. I'd love to have everybody introduce each other real quick and just kind of give us a brief thing, your name, where you work, and if it's a foundation, and the credit union that you work for. And we're just kind of popcorn it around. So once you say who you are, just kind of pick somebody else off the screen and let them introduce themselves. So I'm going to go ahead and start with my peer, Alicia Stair, and let her introduce herself.
Awesome. Well, good morning, everyone. As Bobby shared, my name is Alicia Stair. I serve as the Vice President of Member Engagement here at LSCU. We'll be going on 6 years next year and really looking forward to seeing how we can take some of the priorities of what we do over at the association and connecting credit unions, providing those peer exchanges, but taking it to the next level with foundations as well. So I know that Bobby has been excited about this project and put a lot of thought and hard work into it. So super excited to finally be able to kick it off. And I will kick it over to Teresa next.
Teresa, you want to unmute and introduce yourself?
Yes, I'm working on it. There we go. Okay. I don't think I have any video. I'm sitting in my car. I have an 11:30 lunch meeting, so I'm gonna have to pop off. But I'm sitting right across from the restaurant. Anyway, sorry. I'm Teresa Hibbard. I am with the Achieva Credit Union Foundation. I just joined them in April. And so I'm the executive director for the foundation. I'm a team of one. And they've asked me to get systems and processes set up to elevate the foundation, make it known in the community, create some employee engagement and enthusiasm around the foundation. I've had 25 years in nonprofit experience, so it's fun to be back in the corporate world, if you will. And so, yeah. And I can't see anybody, so who's ever...
I'll pop it over for you. Let's go to Kim.
Thanks.
Did you say Kim?
I did, Kim.
Yay, Kim Wall with the Georgia United Foundation. And I'm excited about this group, and I'm really bummed that I'm in a parking lot outside of the Department of Family and Children Services taking this call. So you can't see me and I can't see you, but I can hear you. And we love foundation people. Thanks for starting, Bobby.
This is great. Happy to do it. And I know if you're in your car, I'm going to just pop over to Lori. Lori, why don't you go ahead?
Good morning. I'm Lori Cephas. I work for SRP Federal Credit Union, and we are in the process of forming our foundation. Our entity is currently 2 days old. We just had our filing with the state, so we are at the very beginning of our journey. And I just really appreciate you allowing me to be on this call. While we are formed in South Carolina, we have 6 counties that we represent in Georgia as well. So we're just very excited. It's been a board initiative for many years, and to actually see it come to fruition is very exciting for our credit union. So I just am ready to listen and learn and appreciate your time. So thanks very much. Oh, and I've been only a credit union person for over 25 years, and I'm currently the compliance officer. So it's a bit of a strange anomaly that I'm working, but it's been pure enjoyment just going through this process. So thank you very much.
And you're gonna go ahead and pick somebody to introduce themselves.
Oh, yes. How about Courtney?
Thank you, Lori. Good morning, everyone. Courtney Berry. I am the Executive Director of the Suncoast Credit Union Foundation. I've been in this role literally to the date, a year. So I'm rounding out a robust year of foundation, the great work of the foundation at Suncoast. We've been a foundation since 1990, and we've had just great experiences that I've inherited. And I've been with the credit union for about 7.5 years, so working on youth education programming. So really, really excited to be here. I remember when Bobby sent out the email, I was just beaming with the opportunity to collaborate and just learn more from my peers. So really excited for the opportunity.
Courtney, you want to pick somebody next up?
Yes. Jennifer. And you're on mute, Jennifer.
She's working on it. She's so close. I can see her.
I can too. Well, while she figures that out, why don't we go ahead and we'll send Courtney pick another one, and she'll be the next up after that one.
Okay, let's go to Nicole.
Yay. Got it.
Oh, there's Jennifer.
Good morning. I'm Nicole Fulgham. I am the Community Involvement Manager at Alabama Credit Union, and my role currently oversees our foundation, which hosts financial education, and our signature charity, which is Secret Meals for Hungry Children. I have been in the credit union world for about 2.5 years, but my college degree is actually in nonprofit public relations. So I have been in nonprofit world for about 5 years now. And fun fact, Bobby and I actually worked together at the Alzheimer's Association when I was in college. I interned under her. So it's a small world. We just reconnected like yesterday, I think.
Yep.
So it's good to be in the credit union industry, and it's really cool to connect the nonprofit world with a little bit of corporate side too. So it's really exciting, and I've loved my time here overseeing our foundation.
And I have bribed Nicole to only tell good stories about me. All right, okay, Jennifer, go ahead.
Hi, good morning, everybody. I can only do Zoom calls from my phone, and when everything gets minimized, then I can't find it. I'm Jennifer Gerson. I work at Dade County Federal Credit Union. I'm our AVP of Community Development. I've also been tasked with creating our foundation, which we're in the final stages of, thank goodness. So I look forward to all of our conversations that we're going to have and learning from all of you wonderful people out there.
Wonderful. All right, who's next on the chopping block, Jennifer? Who's going to introduce themselves next?
Has Amy gone?
No.
Amy, you're up.
I have not. Hello, I am Amy Frichman. I am in Brunswick, Georgia. I have been in the credit union almost 3 months. So marketing is not new to me, but the credit union world is, and I'm loving it. It's trial by fire, and we are in the midst of forming a foundation as well, which has not been finalized. So we're very excited to be on the beginning stages of this and get to know everybody and learn more what it's about. I'm also not new to nonprofit, so that's fun as well to bring that to the table. So Misty, I'll call on Misty Waldrop. She's the only one I know.
Hey, Amy, it's so good to see you on this call. And yes, my name is Misty Waldrop. I work with the League, and I specifically work in the marketing department, and we will be stepping in. Saw Lori on here. We'll be stepping in to help SRP with some of their foundation efforts. And I'm so excited to learn more about the foundation space. And I've been a part of the credit union world since 2012, when my eldest was born. And also why I don't have my computer screen on, because my family decided to get the flu. So we all look gross. So I wanted to spare you, but I'm so excited to learn more and get started on this journey. And I guess I'm going to pass this over to Lauren, our overachiever Christmas lady.
Hey y'all, I am at Gulf Winds Credit Union and I've been here about 7 months actually. And I come from nonprofits, social service, fundraising, and made the switch after about 5 years. And I love giving money a lot more than asking for money, it turns out. A lot more fun. And no donors try to make me cry anymore. It's amazing. Love it. And I'm excited to learn from you guys. Our foundation's about 2 years old, so I'm excited to learn and grow it with you guys. And I'm gonna pick Romel.
It is Romel. You are
Romel, apologies.
Yes, you are correct. My name is Romel Gibson, and I am not in the credit union world. I actually serve as the Community Outreach Director for Habitat for Humanity of Tuscaloosa, Alabama. However, I do serve as a board member of the Alabama One Aspire Foundation. I'm a board member there, and so I'm just excited to be on. I've been in the nonprofit world for the last 15 years, and so a part of my role, even with Habitat for Humanity, is development. And so fundraising is what I do for our foundation as well as community engagement. So.
Oh, welcome. We're glad to have you on. And at first, just a little secret, he signed up and I was like, wait, this isn't for you. And he said, no, it is. And I was like, okay, we got you.
And
then,
I'm not aware of who hasn't gone now.
I think Jessica, is the final one. Jessica, why don't you go ahead?
Hi there, I'm Jessica Devant. I am with the Atlanta Postal Credit Union. I've been there for about 7 months. I'm currently the executive administrative assistant to the CEO, Blake Graham. But I'm transitioning to director of the foundation. And we are just getting started. We're still working with the state on getting everything established. So I'm really excited to be here and learn a little bit more and the whole process.
Well, welcome. We're excited to have you. And then I guess we still need Missy. And then last but not least, after Missy, we'll help Kelly introduce herself.
Hi, well, thank you. My name is Missy Peters. I work for Community First Credit Union in Jacksonville, Florida. I've served two roles at the credit union. So as our Director of Community Affairs, reporting to the marketing department, but also the Executive Director of our foundation. And I've been with the credit union for 18 years, excuse me, and we just celebrated our 10th anniversary of our foundation. So super happy about that.
Thank you, Missy. And Kelly, you're up.
Hey, I'm Kelly. I'm with the league. I actually serve as a member engagement consultant. I've been here for 6 months now, but I came from a credit union working in the community engagement team. So I'm excited to see the collaboration and hear all of your ideas.
Well, thank you everybody for sharing a little bit about yourselves. I'm excited to kind of get going. I want to make sure that we have enough time really for you guys to collaborate and really get to know each other. But I will very quickly just kind of a little bit about the Credit Union Foundation Xchange. Just kind of working with the league and, working the foundation and growing that a little bit. I really kind of just saw a need to say, all the credit union foundations, you guys are out there doing so much great work, but are we really interacting with each other and engaging? Maybe, kind of just best practice sharing. Who can we ask questions to, bounce ideas off of? What are we doing? The leagues does a great job with credit unions talking to each other. Maybe we can mirror that and be that collaborative and cooperative spirit amongst ourselves. So that was kind of the catalyst. And so it took a while for me to kind of really dig deep and see, okay, can we do this? How can, do we have the bandwidth for it and really the desire? And I think just today, looking at you guys, I do feel there's that desire to kind of have us all get together. So the CU Foundation Xchange is really just, our focus. We just want to share information. We want, share best practices, address challenges and opportunities you guys are having, with the goal of really enhancing our collaboration. Maybe I have the opportunity to learn from industry experts, just really get to know each other and kind of keep each other up to date on what's going on in our industry. And then really, I just want to, foster that collaborative, supportive spirit amongst each other, and I really want you guys to see the Southeastern Credit Union Foundation as really a facilitator for you guys. how can I help you guys get together and work with each other and kind of be the partners that you want to be? And that's really what I want our role as the foundation to be in general. Like, are we the catalyst to get you guys started, to kick off? Are we being the best philanthropic partner to you guys? You know, how are we helping you reach people in your communities? So really, as we're going through, just remember that's what I want my role to be, and how can we best support you? So with that, I will really just let us get into kind of our first little project sharing here. So I want us to break out into smaller groups to really kind of engage and dig a little deeper, really understanding our opportunities and our challenges with each other. And then when we do these two smaller breakout groups, we'll then jump to a bigger group. We'll have one person report out, but then we'll have a bigger discussion, really more around, I'm gonna just want to open the floor up. I know we have some new people that are establishing foundations now that have a lot of questions, and we have some people that are on that have had some expertise and some time under their belt with a credit union foundation, that maybe you guys can really get some clarity and some understanding of what that is, and then just do some practice sharing. So are you guys ready for some small breakout groups? Are you ready? Okay. I'd love for you guys in your first little breakout group to really discuss, you know, your information, talk a little bit more in depth about your foundation, what your role is within your credit union industry, and kind of your impact on your communities. And then kind of maybe from there, once you guys have shared that, go ahead and discuss, well, common goals and values do you guys share? And I think we'll find that we all have a lot of things in common. And then kind of what are those principles and how do you guys move forward with that? So as you guys are thinking about that and getting the wheels turning, I'm going to try to be very techie and good about setting up a breakout room. So we'll see how good I am at that. So here we go. And then we'll have 10 minutes to do that, and we'll come back and report out. All right. Did everybody learn a little something about each other? Yeah. Does anybody want to share some of the common goals or things that you guys found amongst each other? Don't make me call on you. I will.
We were just talking about the all three of us were newbies in that group together, so that was funny. We were talking about how to form our the foundation board members versus the credit union board members, so that was kind of part of our discussion.
Yeah, great.
We were just about to touch on marketing and how important the marketing department is to our foundations as well. So that was definitely going to be a hot topic.
I think it's a hot topic across the board for all foundations. How do we market this and get it out? Anybody else? Any common goals, ideas? All right. Well, what about you, Lauren? I called on you.
We just talked about some of our upcoming stuff, some upcoming fundraising events, forming things, figuring out challenges with different levels of giving, and figuring out how to help each other a little bit.
Well, I guess you guys touched on we were going to do another round of breakout groups to kind of talk about challenges that each foundation faces. But we're at 10:36 because, again, I'm a little technically challenged, but then I loved going through the intros. So as a group, do we maybe just want to move on to the larger group discussion and just kind of open it up and share some best practices? And because I want to make sure you guys have time for that as the larger group. Thumbs up or no's or yeses? Good. All right. So kind of in this next round, I wanted to kind of keep it open and open up the floor because I do know a lot of the newer ones or people setting up new foundations. They have a ton of questions too, but I do think it might be an opportunity to share some best practices, ask a few questions. So just to kind of get it kicked off a little bit, I know that Jen, you had some questions too, kind of about your foundation that you were starting. Is there anything you want to share with the group about kind of what you're finding as you're trying to set up, and maybe we can get some help from them?
Bobby, I'm submitting a CDFI grant application right now. My foundation questions are so buried in the back of my brain. If you remember what my questions were,
I will. So Jennifer was finding her attorney was being pretty strict on some of the guidelines that she was having. And I think, if I remember correctly, it had to do with not being able to post on the credit union website, the foundation that
yeah, that was one of my questions. And we were also just talking about the makeup thing. You see, it all came back to the front of my head. The makeup of the board, like they were saying that they were using several of their board members for their governing board, where I was giving the direction to not use the same board members because there's separation of governance. And so I would love to hear people's opinions on that. And can your foundation website reside on your credit union website as its page, or does it need its own separate website?
Anybody want to chime in maybe about the board?
Hey, Bobby, I'll talk. This is Jackie Johnson. I'm with Alabama One Credit Union. We have a separate website. We used to have a page on our main Alabama One website. Now we just have a link to the our main website. We found that it was better us having separate because we could do more and explain more and not have that restriction of the actual credit union. So we do have a separate website. And then as far as our board makeup, we are 5 years in as far as our foundation. When we first started, we had about half and half employees and then half external board members, but we've always had one person from our governing board on our foundation board. So we have one person that really is just board member, doesn't chair anything, doesn't do, just kind of is there. And then the rest of our board is external. We have Romel Gibson, who's on this call too, who's just explaining in our breakout group why he thought that was important. And I think if Romel, if you don't mind, if you can, I would share what you shared in our small breakout group. But we do have several nonprofit, our board is made up of several other people that come from a different nonprofit in our community. And it's been very, very helpful. Romel, if you can, will you share with them what your thoughts are?
Absolutely. I was sharing that being that I work for Habitat for Humanity and we are a pretty known nonprofit in our community, as well as some of our other board members are employees of other known nonprofits as well. It kind of gives the foundation some validity from the standpoint of, you know, the question is if you're such a successful credit union, billion-dollar organization or whatever, why would you even ask for money? Or why do you need it? But when they see other nonprofits that they do respect as a nonprofit on the board of this foundation, it kind of gives validity to the nonprofit wing of it. And they then say, okay, well, if Romel's a part of it, and I know he's been in the nonprofit world for 15 years, then this must be a legit nonprofit. It gives them reason to ask more questions, to dig deeper, and potentially become partners as a result. So I think it's important to, if you can, to engage the nonprofit community around you in the efforts that you have as credit unions.
I would also wonder if perhaps, Jennifer, if maybe, because I don't know, I think you are allowed to have, and this, of course, legal advice trumps everything else, right? We're just discussing here, but maybe it's an opportunity that once somebody else on the call wouldn't mind sharing maybe some of their legal team or whoever they use to set up their foundation, you can get another opinion on it, would be my guess, because I don't know if that's an issue, or I'm not 100% sure, but I would imagine having one or two sitting on the foundation, even if it's just in an ex officio capacity, is okay. But I mean, I think another opinion, your attorney might just be very strict and be very literal of the interpretation. Go ahead, Alicia.
Yeah, I just saw some heads nodding. Amy and Courtney, anything to chime in there too? It looked like both of you have at least one board member serving on the foundation board. Is that correct?
Yes, so we typically have 1 to 2, no more than 2 of our board members and our employees serve on our committee for the foundation. So this is like an active role in making decisions for our foundation applications that come in our grant cycles every other month. So they definitely have an involved role with the foundation, but we've always had at least 1 to 2 board members. We do have in-house legal counsel that has worked with the foundation over the years as well. I'm sure he'd be happy to share some insight as well if you wanted to connect with him, but he's a wealth of wisdom. He's been at the credit union for a long time. So that's where we get a lot of our, obviously, you know, kind of legal insight from when it comes to the foundation.
Amy?
I was just nodding because when Lori and I were speaking, we're both in Georgia, and her foundation, they were told they could have a minority of the board members. So they have 11, so they can't have more than 4 on their foundation board. That's why I was nodding.
think that makes sense too a little bit, but yeah, just that when you told me that, Jen, earlier, I was like, I don't know. I don't want to go, obviously legal advice is better than anything else, but I still think we should poll everybody to see how that really works out for everybody. Well, good. Well, does anybody else have any questions or any thoughts about sharing anything? Anything going on really great in your foundation that you want to share? Nicole, do you want to talk a little bit about, I didn't mean to run right in there, but everybody was just kind of looking like, You want to talk a little bit about what your foundation does?
Yeah, we can. So, right now, our foundation primarily focuses on our primary charity, which is Secret Meals for Hungry Children. And Secret Meals delivers weekend food packs for children who have been identified as going hungry by their school officials. So we actually just delivered for the last time this year. We'll start back in January when kids go back to school. But right now we're serving about 2,800 kids every week across the state of Alabama. And I think we have 2 schools in Northwest Florida that we're currently serving near the Perdido Key area. And so our foundation mainly funds that just because that is a big cost for us. We were talking about what funds our foundations and our small groups. And we were talking about how, we get some funding from members, we do some fundraising, and then we have those individual donations that come in as we spread the word about our charity. We also have financial education under our foundation. So we are trying to figure out ways to allot those funds to kind of spread the funds out more, because right now we're focusing 90% on Secret Meals for Hungry Children. And so our financial education efforts seem a little bit lower when it comes to like the bigger picture. So we're just trying to, get to where we can allocate that about 50-50, which we are a team of one, we as in myself. And that's where our marketing department comes in and helps me a lot. So really thankful for that partnership, and we're just looking forward to 2024. Our Secret Meals program has grown a lot in 2023, which is really sad, but it's exciting at the same time. It's sad because we're seeing these families are struggling in our communities to purchase food and to keep up with inflation, but it's really great to know that we have this in place where we can help these families when needed.
Thanks, Nicole. So I like to hear that you're kind of expanding out, trying to expand out into financial literacy as well. Would anybody like to share kind of what they're doing in the financial literacy world?
I can share with financial education. Our youth outreach team reports up to the foundation. So we work hand in hand because a lot of who we fund on the foundation side are partners of our youth outreach team as well. So we work with again, the school districts, education foundations, and the counties that we serve. So our youth outreach team goes into classrooms. They do virtual as well. Of course, COVID has opened up that opportunity for us to impact even more schools, school districts, nonprofit youth groups. So we work with everyone from, the Boys and Girls Club, YMCA. We'll go in and do financial education. On this past Monday, I had 3 of my team members go out to a high school and did the reality fair simulation to about over 300 high schoolers. So we had 3 sessions back to back to back with, again, just taking them through the game of life with buying a house, buying a car, insurance, utilities, all that good stuff. So that's one kind of larger project that we do, but we have kind of those traditional PowerPoint presentations that we can take into the classroom, games into the classroom, but again, also virtually. And we have a gang of e-learning opportunities as well now that we like to promote out even more. We work with Balance, we work with Everify. Those are our 2 biggest educational vendors that we utilize. So Balance gives us a lot of our traditional PowerPoints and presentations, a lot of our kind of hands-on material, and Everify is more of the digital. We have in-classroom sponsorships, so we can, again, impact without being there physically. So we have a pretty robust financial education group that's growing, not even on the student side, but we have another team that does kind of focuses more on our adult community partners and then also our employees as well.
Anybody else? Lauren, Amy?
I don't mean to call on anybody, but I know that I receive a lot of great emails from the Alabama One Foundation regarding their Bridge Builders program. So Jackie or Romel, is there anything you'd like to share with the group about all of the success you found in those events?
Sure. Thank you for that. So Alicia speaking to, we also do financial wellness as well, and some of the same programs that Courtney talked about. We use different vendors, however, but some of the similar programs. But in regards to the Bridge Builders is a conference that we actually started 5 years ago. We just had it in November. We do it every November. It's called the Bridge Builders Conference. And basically, that conference is built on 3 pillars. And this is something that our CEO had asked us to start 5 years ago. And those pillars are faith, education, and the community. So, faith, education, and community. And community is everything that encompasses the nonprofit, businesses, anything, any type of community involvement. And what we do is we bring in a group of different speakers based on those 3 pillars to discuss whatever the theme is for the year. And this year, our theme was GROW, which stood for which stood for grit, relationships, opportunity, and wealth. And so every year we think of a different theme. And then within those 4, grit, relationship, opportunity, and wealth, we have different speakers that will come in, and we ask them to tie in whatever topic that they're speaking on into those pillars, whether it's education. So we have backing by the city schools, the county schools in Tuscaloosa. But the highlight of this for me is that this conference now stretches from Washington State all the way down to Miami, because we also do a virtual component. And so different credit unions are now linking into our conference to see what we're doing and how we're doing it. Again, this is just something unique we put together. We love to share. We've got a credit union in Wisconsin that has asked us, could they copy what we're doing? And we said, absolutely. We'll give you the whole playbook and you can do that. But it brings in all different leaders, businesses in the community. And it's a great day. It's a half a day. We used to do it a full day, but now we do it for a half. We have breakout sessions. And it's just another way for us to bring the community together, for us all to learn and figure out what we can do to make the community better as a whole.
That sounds amazing. And you're so sweet and nice to share. I think that you've totally nailed down the cooperative principle right there, sharing amongst us all so that we can make sure everybody's getting better. Yes,
absolutely.
Wonderful. Yeah. Well, good. Well, I know I really feel like we could talk for probably 3 or 4 hours, which is kind of a goal at some point, right? We want to get to where we can do some sort of in-person collaboration, little meeting or seminar. But we're at 10:50, so I wanted to spend a few minutes to go ahead and I would love to get your input. So I started this great foundation exchange based on what I thought maybe we needed, but I really would love to hear from you guys, from this group, from this network that we're trying to build. What would you want to see out of it? What is going to be beneficial to you? What resources or support from the league or from your other credit union foundations? What's your best expectation for this? Like, if you could do anything with this group, what would it be?
I know for me, from the beginning, when I saw the email, I was thinking of professional development. There's been a lot of just kind of fly by the seat of your pants with a lot of things we do in our credit union, and we do it as it's always been done. I'll say that more so. So just learning new things and learning possible industry certifications, trainings, workshops, seminars, maybe some conferences that are relevant that could really kind of for the professional. So like training the trainer on foundation best practices is definitely something that I'm really looking to get out of the group.
Wonderful. Yeah. Anybody else? Any other thoughts?
I've really enjoyed hearing even today just how different people are making an impact in the community. So getting really creative and being able to take what folks have done and shape and mold to fit our community. And I just like to think out of the box. So I'm looking forward to that.
Mm-hmm.
So I was going to add on the professional development side, maybe something with grant writing. Some help on that, because I know each grant is different, but sometimes there's questions or documents and I'm like, what is that?
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. I love it.
I'd love to explore topics outside of the credit union industry. We network with a lot of nonprofits in Jacksonville, and there seems to be a trend about, it's called Fund the People. We actually hired someone to come and talk to the nonprofits, but it's funding operational costs, and not everyone has a tolerance for that, and especially my board, but it is certainly a compelling discussion. Kind of nonprofit wide.
Yeah, Missy, I'd be interested in that too, because you're not going to find many grants or many people that are really willing to fund your operational costs. And those we know can be a big cost, but they're necessary to run the foundation, right?
Yeah, we don't run off fumes, so why
Right.
should we expect other people to? But it is, funding people helps preserve the, jobs within the nonprofit industry. That's why there's such a high turnover. We actually did just fund our first operational type of request. And that was a stretch, but they understood why. And so I just think understanding kind of the trends that are going on just nonprofit wide and how we can support their efforts and less of them fitting within our mold, because essentially we want to be able to serve them and their needs.
Yeah, wonderful. Thank you for that. All of these have been great. Anybody else? Any other thoughts which you might want to get out of this group?
I know the CDFI application process has just opened. It's always good if we could have more education around that, the application process. I know we had applied last year. It was our first time, and we tried to do it internally, and that did not work out well for us. So I've gone to different conferences, inclusive and different things, to learn more about it, but it seems like it's still a huge uphill battle. So if we could get any information, whether it's just things that we could read or maybe connect with another credit union that has received the CDFI funding, that would be great.
And I don't mean to break in, really, it's your conversation to have, but I do want to take a moment to say, don't forget that the Southeastern Credit Union Foundation, we have some funding available to help with maybe third-party hiring to get those applications done. CU Strategic Planning, Inclusive, anybody else that you know of that really does those works, we can help offset some of that cost for you too. So our grant cycle will be opening in January. So I'll definitely send a blurb out to this group as well too when those do open, because we want to make sure. Go ahead, Jennifer, were you going to say something?
I was going to highly recommend outsourcing that to an industry expert. We do that right now. I'm sitting here like pulling my hair out because this SDL application is due next week, and the vendors don't like to do this one because it's a smaller grant. But the rules change by the minute with the CDFI, it seems like, and it's really helpful to outsource it. And as much as it costs, it's worth the peace of mind to have them on your side. It absolutely is.
Yeah. So, but we'll definitely
I agree.
Everybody.
And the beautiful thing about the grants is that once you become a CDFI and you get the grants, some of that grant money gets allotted towards the professional services of these vendors to assist you. So it's a win-win.
So we'll definitely keep updates. I know Alicia sends out great updates to credit union too. We can just add you guys to the distro list for when we have updates about CDFI and things that are happening. So we're definitely on top of that as well. Okay, good. Well, I appreciate that. And two things before we end. First, I want to thank you guys so much for jumping on here. I know it's a Friday morning-ish and probably not the ideal time for a Zoom, but I love that you guys were here and engaged. And I hope that, for our first little meeting and get together, feeling each other out, that it was beneficial to you and you guys got to meet some people and learn a few things and just make a couple friends, right? I think that's some of the great things that we can do together. I do want to continue to do stuff like this and kind of get us together in a virtual way, but also eventually in person, really do something. I think just the fact that we ran out of time so quickly just shows that we have a lot of information and education we can share with each other. So I'm going to send out a little survey to everybody to kind of see for 2024, get the feel for some topics that we may want to have for some Zooms, maybe ask your opinion about any industry experts you know of or you might like to hear from, so that the next meeting is really going to be a little bit more robust and more into the areas that you guys discussed that you wanted to see for this group moving forward. And then also, I know that most of you should have had an invite for our like kind of discussion board. If you didn't get it, it probably got lost in your emails. If we can utilize that, that's great. If it's not going to work for the group, we'll figure that out too. I just thought it would be some way to get us all kind of together and sharing information. So I highly recommend that we get that. Let me know if you don't have that invitation and I'll resend it to you guys for the group and we'll get everything going. But I will, again, thank you guys so much. I hope this was beneficial to you. I hope that we can continue doing this moving forward. And please, as you walk away and you're kind of digesting what we discussed here, please share with me any information about what I can do better or we can see moving forward to make this group ideal for you guys and what's going to help our credit union industry and our members in the long run and our communities. So thank you guys so much. I do want to be aware of your time and make sure you guys stick to the hour. So hopefully we can talk longer and share more next time. So you guys have a great weekend. Happy holidays. I will see everybody in a little while.
Thank
Thank
you.
you guys so
Bobby.
much.
Thank you so
Thank you.
much.
Thank you.
Thank you.